Hey, what's up everyone? Now we're about to do the video on Little Whiskey Eating Shad. All right, so like I said, I already did most of this video and did a lot of how I caught all the shad and everything. That's all gonna be in there. I did it just, man, you never know. There might be some guys that wanna go do this. I kind of suggested, I think it's pretty cool. So I got all that done in the video. What I'm about to say is this. Like I said, it's been a year since I started this video. I wanted to kind of see how everything rolled on. It's in the middle of winter right now. So I am totally in the shad deal, like where I'm feeding him shad every single day. And right now, he eats shad every single day and quite a bit more. So when I started this a year ago, he wasn't as big. He's bigger now. I was feeding him like a shad or two a day. No, I had to up it way more. I still got plenty of shad though. That's what's the cool thing. I have plenty of shad. The reason I have plenty of shad though, there was a time in there where he wasn't eating that much. And like I said, at the end of all this series, I'm gonna talk about that. I'm gonna talk about why he's not. But for right now, he is going nuts in there. He eats all the time. So, but here's how I got all the shad, what I did. I am gonna show a little bit about the process that I did to help you guys out if y'all wanna do this, because the process was not perfect. I got the process down pretty much perfect right now on how I keep them and what I do. I'll go show you that here in a second. It'll be closer towards probably the middle of the video. And then tonight, I'm gonna do it at night. The reason I'm gonna do it at night is I filmed a little bit of stuff. If you've watched the other videos in the middle of the day, it's just because that's when I have time, right? But at night, I can turn all of the lights off, right? And it's a lot easier to see him in the tank and see what's going on. You won't have so much of a glare. So tonight is feeding time. That's when I'm gonna feed him, see how many he eats. I have no idea. I'm not gonna feed him like crazy. I'm just gonna feed him, enough until he's done. So anyways, watch the video, guys. Hope y'all like it. Well, I came back to my old stomping grounds. Man, this is basically where I grew up, walking the bank. Just like a lot of y'all, like I walked the bank for years, and this is pretty much where I did it. But I didn't come back here for that. I did come back here because I used to catfish and do all kinds of stuff when I was a kid. And man, I just lived for doing stuff on the water. So I had to come back because I knew where I could get some shad, and some shad easy. So I've been waiting for this time of the year to come back to get everything I needed for a little whiskey. So let me show y'all. So I got everything, got my shad net. This is a big bucket, guys. It's one of them like oversized. It almost up to my tailgate, so big. And there ain't hardly any water in there. I'm just telling you, I'll put like 3 inches of water in there. I guarantee I have over 1,000 shad in there. So I got over 1,000 shad, maybe more. I mean, some of those casts I was getting were 40, 50, every throw. So I was just trying to get enough. I'm not too worried about feeding them all year long. I can still catch a whole bunch of worms. I can still catch crawfish, tadpoles. My son loves doing that. Michaela loves doing that. So I'll continually do that. But that'll eventually run dry. Then we find things around the house always. Like they're always finding frogs, and I mean, there's no telling what they find. And salamanders, they love that. So they'll throw that stuff in there. They just feed them whatever. But this is pretty much for when sometimes the late summer and fall and really the winter time gets here. Man, he needs to eat. This is easy stuff, because what I'll do is I'll just freeze everything. And I don't feed him till he like bust. I don't want him, there's no need for that. It's kind of like a cat, right? Like you could feed a cat and a dog sometimes more than they would eat. Doesn't mean you should. I'm not saying you couldn't feed this bass as much as you want to. It's not gonna hurt him. It's just, I gotta clean the tank more. I gotta do a whole bunch of things, and he's done pretty darn good from how we fed him. So, I got some big gizzard shads too. None of them are on top. That's a small one. Oh yeah, so I got some big gizzards in there. I've never fed him a gizzard. He's never been big enough to eat one. So we'll get some of that. Cape Royale Marina. That's where I walk the bank. I learned more in this marina. I'm not saying that I have anything, but this is where basically it all started. Just like walking this place. Like that culvert right there. That's where I caught my first bass. Caught my first 2 bass actually. But yeah, in the rain, 7th grade, just a little kid. I mean, some guy told me how to Texas rig, and I walked right over there and caught 2, and it was like, that was it. I was hooked. All right, just got them bagged up. I think I got over 1,000. It's pretty easy that I got over 1,000. I mean, they are stacked full. So now I'm gonna freeze them all up and start that process. But not bad for about an hour's work. All right, I'm showing you this clip of him, and these are the things I get to watch him do. I showed you that because that is just a random him going crazy. Okay, he's probably gonna do it again. We're literally sitting down watching TV. There's nothing going on. It's dark in there. No one's moving. And he's just going crazy. And he does this. And I can usually tell, like, he's usually hungry. He wants to feed. So I was like, all right, this is a perfect time. I'll go ahead and do this for y'all. So I'm speeding all this up because I want to show y'all that that's not normal, right? This is like in times 10, right? So I sped this up 10 times of what it is. So you can see how much he actually is calm. He sits there, you know, like I said, 10 times, and he kind of just barely moves around. He's really normally pretty calm. He likes that side of the tank more, I think, because of the current. And that's usually where he hangs out for the most part. If you notice, though, he does hang out on the other side sometimes when he can see us. He'll hang out where he is right now a lot more when he can see us on the other side of the room, because that's where we are sitting down on the couch. But I just wanted to show you all this real quick, just to get you all an idea of kind of how he reacts over, I'd say this is about a 30-minute long time period. Every once in a while, you'll see him. He'll go up to the top, kind of go crazy. But for the most part, he's pretty calm, pretty relaxed. But he does, like I said, he kind of freaks out every once in a while. And right now, actually, as I'm talking over this, there he goes again, he's actually sitting on the bottom right now. It's crazy. He's been kind of sitting on the bottom over the last couple of days, but man, I think it has something to do with these cold fronts that have been moving through. Like I said, this is winter right now. This was a couple days ago when I filmed all this, when it was actually fairly warm outside. So I think that has something to do with it. All right, so let's go. Let's start the feeding. So like I said, this is not in 10 times, right? So this is how he normally is. Just calm. That's not sitting on the bottom. There's times when he sits on the bottom. That's just him relaxing right there. So like I said, I figured I'd do a video of him real quick. This is right now. It's cold outside, but look at him. Look how that is him actually sitting on the bottom, just chilling. He's liable to stay like that for 30 minutes to an hour. But that's him really not wanting much. Now watch, I'll see if I get up. Okay, I just stood up and I'm walking over to the tank. See, he's still not really moving. If I put my hand there, I can get him to come move, see? But I mean, he's comfortable sometimes just sitting there on the bottom. Now he's kind of wondering why I messed with him. I messed his little nap up. Let's get back to the video where I leave the living room and go into the kitchen, and you'll see the process. Here. And you're gonna see something. See me? I turn the light on and I go into the kitchen. Now watch him. See his fins, his top fins. All right, this is important. There's gonna be little things I want y'all to notice, right? And I'll admit, you guys on YouTube are really good. I mean, shoot, if I don't mow my grass, I get killed in the comments, right? So watch his top fins, okay? When he gets excited, when he wants to really eat, but it's really an excitement deal, his top fin flares up, okay? So I'm gonna try to point out everything I can do that is interesting to me. And that's one of them, right? Is his top fin flaring up. That's when he gets excited. He starts swimming really fast. He can see everything. So pay attention to that, okay? So there's two things here real quick. I fed him kind of quick. The first one, just to like, make him work for it. I held it up above the water, made him come up and explode on it. That doesn't bother him. He likes that. He'll do the first one like that. He doesn't like to do it over and over again. He will do it the first time like that. The second one though, then I just start dropping them in there because like I said, I feed them every day. I don't have time to just goof around with them. But I'll just drop a couple of them in there. And usually what I'll do is I kind of pay attention to his body language. He'll let me kind of know if he's hanging up on top, if he's looking around, it means he wants more. If he kind of settles back down and gets real calm again, it means he's pretty much done. Would he eat another one in there? Probably. But like I said, sometimes he turns his nose up because he's full and I have to dig it out, and I don't like doing that. So I just like to kind of feed him that way. But here's the deal. Here's what I wanted to say. The second one, I want to see if any of y'all guys see how he eats the second one. This is something I've been wanting to bring up with y'all. I didn't really even think about it till today. Sometimes there's just things that I forget that maybe you guys don't necessarily know or maybe never heard of. I heard about this when I was really, really young, and I saw it on a video, an old, I think, Doug, isn't it Doug Hannon, the bass professor, on one of his videos. And I was like, always found it interesting. He was right. So I'm gonna talk about it, but let's rewind. I'm gonna show it to you again, and then let me know if y'all knew what I found interesting. All right, I heard this years ago, and I kind of took it for a truth as what it was just by listening to it, and I think it is true. I wouldn't say it's 100% true, but I'd say most of the time. So most of the time when I put a shad in there, he eats it from the head first. And there's a reason he hits it from the head first. I'm not saying he always does, but he tries to. I think when it's above the water, he tries to eat it any which way he can. But if it's in the water, he almost always goes for him head first, and I always heard that. The reason is even if he doesn't eat it head first, he'll either spit it out. Shad, if they're the right size, he can move them around in his mouth, and he always eats it, and it always digests it head first, right? It goes down in his stomach. You notice that you always see tails, right, sticking out of a bass's mouth. If you've ever caught one, you'll see a gizzard shad or something. They're always the tails, right? You never see the head. He will always eat it head first. What I mean by eat, it will always go down his stomach head first. I'm not saying he'll always grab it with his mouth head first, but he tries to. So why is that important? I mean, think about it. Crankbaits, rattle, everything. They're usually trying to hit that from the head first because that's how they're going to make it go down their stomach. I don't want to say digest it, but that's how it goes down their stomach, right? Because they eat it whole, they don't chew it. So look, it's little things like that. I find that really interesting. Yeah, I know sometimes you might catch one on the back hook. That might be him trying to go for it and really just kind of not really wanting to eat it or whatever. But for the most part, when they want to eat, man, I'm telling you, they're trying, if at all possible, hit that thing head first because that's the way they wanted to go down their stomach. So one more thing I find interesting about feeding them shad. So I just left that last part in there. I wasn't actually going to, and I was like, no, I need to do that. I need to show y'all. I could tell that he was done. Little stuff like that, like he just eases a little bit more to the bottom. He's not as active. They're just little things, little tendencies I've picked up after a while feeding him is I can tell when he doesn't want another one. And so, like I said, you throw that other one in there, you notice he didn't even think about looking at it. Didn't even like bother him. But I wasn't just gonna leave it in there. Maybe in an hour I could probably feed him another one, but like I said, there's no need to. He was full. He let me know he's full. So anyways, thought I'd throw that in there. That's basically the cool stuff. Now, I'm gonna get into some more stuff, right? I'm gonna go into the whole, if you wanna watch the rest of this, there's some stuff about how I keep the shad, which I think is important, and what I do with that whole process. I'll try to make it short and quick, but I wanna put it on there in case anyone wants to actually like start doing this. Also, so I'm really excited. I have been coming up with crazy amounts of info on other things that I've witnessed having him that like I forget since I have them, I don't pay attention to, right? Like they slip my mind. But definitely, you've got to watch my next one. My next video is about why he doesn't eat. I think this probably about as anything that I've done within videos and on YouTube. I think this is probably the most, I wouldn't say interesting, but yes, interesting could be the right word, or just straight up, I think this matters more to fishing than anything I've ever done. In the sense of, I think this is the most important factor when trying to catch fish. I'm literally saying that. I think this is the most important thing when it comes to fish catching, fish not catching, whatever you want to call it. This is it. I'm telling you guys, this is the number one factor in fishing, hands down. So be ready for this next video. It's not clickbait, guy. This is nothing. I'm being dead serious about this. That's all I'm gonna say. I've never said that in a video. I'm just telling y'all, I think this is the number one factor, and I'll talk about it next video. All right, I got my deep freezer out here. I'm gonna show y'all what I've done. Don't freeze them in water either. Do not freeze them in water. That's not good. We used to freeze everything in water, right? Because you don't want freezer burn. Man, fish don't care about freezer burn. So take as much of the water out and instantly freeze them in small little bags. I'll show you. So I just got, there's a little bit of water in there, but not much. So I just have little containers, like I have a ton of these, right? I do still, see if I can get it. They're frozen together. Wow. Oh my gosh. All right. That's how many shad I still have left. I put them in there, but then I have to like one day, like unthaw all of them out and get in the sink and then put them in individual deals. That's what I do. And then I put them in the fridge like one at a time. Usually if you put them in the fridge at nighttime, by the next morning, they're thawed out enough to where you can do them. Usually they last, for him, he doesn't seem to mind, like 4, 5, 6 day old, that works. Usually though, there's only 6 or 7 in there. So he's now eating those 2 to 3 times a day. So those last like maybe 3 days. So they don't get bad in there. They don't smell at the fridge. They do stink a little bit when you take them out, but yeah, it's a shad, no big deal. He likes them that way. So hey, man, he's loving life. Little Whiskey's freaking making it. All right, guys, that's the video. That's pretty much it. What I'll say is this: will he spit up a shad and not eat a shad? Yes. He'll turn his nose up on anything out there, guaranteed. What I've noticed though is the shad over a longer period of time, he likes those the best. He'll eat crawfish continuously, like right when I put the crawfish in there for like 2 weeks, he'll eat them, and he doesn't really, he's weird though, because they're in the tank and he never gets excited about anything. You never see him. He's just always kind of just chilling in there when the crawfish are in there. But with a shad, with nothing in the tank, he goes nuts. Like he goes nuts sometimes when you walk out of that kitchen, when my kids run through the living room, whatever it does, like you never know when it's gonna. Oh, the greatest thing too, it's right by my window, right? Our glass doors. And so birds and things fly by, sometimes really close. He goes nuts on that. I can see that happen. So like I said, that's the only thing is when you get him right now, yeah, he reacts to everything. Anyways, see you guys.